Okay, so welcome everyone. We are again with Mr. Samim for our last session on blockchain. So today we are going to go through a very simplistic approach around a live demo with blockchain. So Samim, over to you.
All right. So before we start, a few requirements so that you're able to set up everything. So I will not go through this one. So I would assume that you already have your development environment ready. So by development environment, I'm talking about having npm ready, having Visual Studio Code, and also lastly to be able to deploy on blockchain. Obviously, you'll need a wallet, right? So currently, we're going to use Polygon chain as a blockchain for the deployment, as you may know. There are a lot of second layer blockchain which you're able to develop on. Most of them are based on Ethereum. Polygon is one of them, and the development environment is very like a developer friendly in Polygon. So I'll just dive directly into the coding aspect of developing the smart contract. Okay, just share my screen. Okay, first of all, like I was saying, you need as development environment Visual Studio Code. Basic one, very basic. So I'll just start with creating, deciding the token name. So I'll just name it Tech News. Right. So I had a few things in this folder already set up. So I'll just create another one, which is Tech News. Okay. And I'll point Visual Studio to that folder, that particular folder. All right, that's done. Okay. Next step is to actually get our using npm to get all the packages ready. Okay. So now we are already in that folder, so we can start via a series of commands to get the development environment ready. I think this one most of you might know, just initializing the environment. That's it.
Yes, Samim, sorry, can you zoom a bit your editor
Zoom.
and your command prompt as well? Yeah, zoom it a bit, if possible.
Okay, let me try to do that.
Maybe only your ID, yeah. A bit.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think it's better, yeah.
Okay, I think on the console, unfortunately, I don't really think it allows you to zoom in, Wait, let me check. No, it can. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it looks better.
Okay, so I won't really go dive deep into the details of setting up the environment, the package, the JSON, and so on, because just basic things. It's what you do basically with a project in which you use npm. That's fine. Then the next step would be actually to install our framework, which we will be using. So I'll be using Hard Hat. Right, so that one will take a few minutes. Ideally, since I've already saved the local repository, it would take much not that long. Anyway, so while that's running, so a few tips on that one. So when developing on blockchain, when deploying a smart contract, in fact, like I was saying earlier, you will actually need a wallet. Right. So what's a wallet? A wallet actually it's just like the name is implying, right? So it's actually say you have a 50 rupee note. You'll need somewhere to put it. It can be your pocket can be your wallet, or it can be like a physical level wallet, right? So where you are going to sort of put all your nodes and all. So the same thing, if we put it in contrast with blockchain, you need somewhere to put all your assets, right? When I'm saying assets, it's actually your tokens or your if I can put it like that, your money, right? So money is equal to assets, right? A token here is also an asset, right? So what we are creating right now, it's just a demo. That token doesn't have any utility as such. Okay, one thing that many people used to ask me, like, a few friends always was asking me, how does your token gain value, right? So that one, in fact, your token gains value upon utility, right? The more people will use it and the more demand there is in that token, the more value that token will have. It's like demand's basic concept of demand supply, right? The same thing applies here. Like, okay, so that's installed. Let me stop with that explanation and we can continue. The next series of command will be npx hard hat, right? Okay, continuing on that explanation I was just giving earlier. So it was okay. So let me initialize that one. So I'll create. I'll just stop with the explanation and continue with that with the demo, right? So now moving on, I'll just start with a basic JavaScript project. I'm not going to TypeScript. You can do TypeScript if you're at ease with it, but just for the sake of this demo, we'll just do basic JavaScript. It's quite because both of them are fine, right? TypeScript is just typed environment, so I'll just use JavaScript. The project root, it's already set up, so I'll just use the same thing. Git ignore, yeah, you can use that one. We're not going to commit to GitHub anyway. So for the toolbox, I'll just say yes, because it's going to install all the dependencies, right? And you can install it separately, but eventually there are a lot of other dependencies which you'll install one by one, but Hard Hat gives you the flexibility of having, Hard Hat will give you the flexibility of installing every dependency and so on. So I'll just select yes. Okay, that one also would take a few minutes. Basically, it's a maximum of 5 minutes. The first time I did it. But anyway, like I was saying, I have a local repository already installed, so it's going to pull a few of the dependencies from there. Okay, so let's continue on that explanation I was giving earlier about so we were about talking about the how does a token gain value, right? Okay, like for example, blockchain. Okay, for example, not blockchain, sorry, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's value has increased quite a lot for the past years, 10 years, if I may put it like that. So you will notice it's because of the demand has increased for Bitcoin and the supply is actually limited. I don't really know if maybe some of you know that we have a limited amount of Bitcoin that can actually be generated, and in April, that is going to be less limited also, because you need a lot of computing power to actually generate, to mint, in fact, that's the actual word, to make more and more tokens, right? So yeah.
Just a question,
Okay.
Samim. Just throwing it out there. There's something I've read is proof of work. How does it work in Bitcoin context?
Okay, so you have two concepts. You have two like basic concepts. You have a proof of work. While I'm installing that one, I think this one it's just going to take some time. While I can take on that question in the meantime. So you have two basic concepts. You have proof of work and proof of stake, right? Earlier, like a few years back, you had only proof of work, which was most prevailing in all blockchain, right? So in proof of work, the thing is that the one who actually is the first one to find it's called a nonce, right? So when you actually what to call it? I'm looking for the specific word. When you're mining, in fact, when actually mining, you're doing like computational work, right? So the first one who gets to the result is the one who's going to get awarded. By awarded, I mean he's going to get like coins, like Bitcoins, for example, on the Bitcoin blockchain, right? So that's proof of work. The first one who is actually who is successful in doing the computation and who's getting the result, right? The result being announced, it's just a computational value. So the first one gets awarded. That's proof of work. Proof of stake, there's another one, proof of stake. Now, Ethereum has moved to proof of stake now. Proof of stake now is a bit much more, not advanced, but it's a bit new, right? So proof of stake is where the more coins, like say for Ethereum, the more Ether you have on your wallet, it's you who's going to be even if you are not going to get the computational result, quicker, you're the one who's going to get awarded more ether. So the more ether you have, the more likely you are going to get awarded when you're going to mine, right? So it's a bit like, the more funds, the more ether you have. Like I was saying again, that's how it works. So there are two basic concepts: proof of work, proof of stake. Proof of work is just the first one. So the one with highest computing power obviously is going to get the result first. So the one with the highest computing power is going to get awarded the coins. Proof of stake, the one with more coins is going to get awarded. It may also make sense because you won't really mess around if you have like high stake in the of coins, because if you mess around, the network is going to kick you out. You might lose your coins. So you have much more stake. Like I would put it like that you need to actually provide a good result, right? That's the basic concept. Okay. Now, we've already set up our environment. Everything is done. Now you will notice that we have our scripts, which is here. We have a deploy.js file. Okay. One thing in the contract, you will notice that there's already a contract here, right? Which has been generated while I was installing those while we're setting up the development environment and all. That's a dummy one. Actually, you can compile it. It's just giving you like one thing. You will notice that this is in Solidity, right? And it's basically seems like JavaScript, but not really JavaScript with a few change minor, but a few changes. Like this is a declaration of a variable. So we just move on to the creation of our token, which is tech news token. So I create another file which will represent our smart contract. So I call it tech. Let's call it tech news, and the extension is Solidity. Okay. Now, okay, I've already created something. I'll just copy and paste and in here just for the sake of this demo. So now one thing that I missed, in fact, earlier, notice that I'm using OpenZeppelin, right? OpenZeppelin is just like a repository of basic smart contract that you already have, and also the utilities, already available in there. And it helps you, in fact, to interact with the chain, right? So that's OpenZeppelin. I've already installed that one. And basically, just put the contract name. So contract, and this thing is again sensitive, tech news, right? And is ERC20. That's big ERC20 because we are developing on what's that called? Ethereum. And we have enable, right? Okay, this is basically what when you do, in object-oriented programming, when you do implements and so on, right? So that's the same thing. It's just the concept is a bit different. Okay, again, with every class that you have the constructor. So I'll start with the constructor and a series of values that it will be accepting, right? So, okay, when you're minting a token, right, you will obviously need to know how much you're going to mint in the initial case. You can, like say, we can mint 1,000, and you can later on add more to it, right, as you go along. So, for the sake of this demo, let's say our initial supply, if you might call it like that, would be like say 1,000, right? So in fact, this is only the type, and I would put it like initial supply. Right, that's initial supply. And now, second thing that you need to know when you're creating the token, you need to actually give it a name. We decided we put ours as tech news, right? So tech news, I'll just put ERC20, and you have like, this is just like you're passing values to the actual Ether's blockchain. So already, if your development environment is set up and with Visual Studio Code, you get some prompts and so on. Actually, it's quite easy with Visual Studio Code, right? Okay, now we decide that we will put ours as tech news, right? That's our token name. Sorry. And you need to give it a ticker, a ticker name. Okay, what's a ticker name? Those of you who know how basic exchanges work, like you have a ticker name for every, like say for securities on an exchange, you have like a ticker name. Like I think for Tesla, for example, if you're trading Tesla, it has I think TSLA, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a ticker name. So also on blockchain, if because say tomorrow your token is well known and you put it on an exchange, that's what it would be using as. This the name is quite important. We'll be using that for trading. So tech news, TNW for example. Okay, and the rest I'm just going to the rest is basic thing. I'm just going to copy and paste it since it's
A
basic.
quick question. Let's say the ticker name already exists. Won't there be a problem?
Yeah, basically, it won't even be a problem. It will still allow you to deploy on chain, but basically, it's upon the creator of the contract to decide. He needs to check actually that it is not already available and all. So, to answer your question, it's not a problem technically. Might be a problem later on if you're listing on an exchange. Might be. I would say it's not really a problem. So basically, it's upon you to just check whatever ticker name that already are variable out there, and before actually putting it there, because it's almost next to impossible to change it. I'm saying next to impossible. I'm not saying impossible, right? To change that thing. Anyway, like you might know, once we deploy to a blockchain, you can't change the codes. Actually, you can, but in this scenario that I'm doing, I can't change the codes, right? I need to like sort of I can't even I need to create another contract, right? But there are like types of contract which you're able to modify, right? And it uses like sort of proxies in between and all. That is much more of an advance. Like when you go deeper into blockchain, you can do it. So that's basically our contract done, and that's it. Okay, one thing that I need to explain is the function of minting. Like I'm implementing the function mint from ERC20, right? And this is the address, so I'm going to mint it to which wallet and what's the amount. And for only owner means that my wallet only is able to sort of mint that token, right? Okay. So that's our contract done. Next thing, it's remember I was talking about the deploy.js file. So that's how it's when you use hard hat, actually it gives you the flexibility, in fact, to be able to easily deploy on blockchain. That's why I would just use hard hat for this example. Okay. I already set up a few things on the deploy.js one. Let me just go quickly on that one. Scripts. Okay. I'm going to just explain it. Okay. So I'll just put a few logs in here so when we are going to it's not M token. I was using M token, okay, my surname, right? Let's put it T token. Okay. One thing is that when you're doing the contracts, this is actually the class name that we put. So it's tech news, and our initial supply it's 1,000. Remember, we've not put any. We only put the name here. It actually could have passed as a parameter, but just for the sake of this demo, we just put it a hard coded it here. But anyway, the initial supply it's a value that you can pass to this constructor, which is 1,000 in this case, and this one is a decimal number of places, right? And when actually execute this line, it's actually deploying to the blockchain, right? So this is it. We've already set up everything. There's one thing actually which we need to put there. It's like I was saying when we started earlier, you need to have gas fees in your wallet already to be able to deploy on the blockchain, right? Okay, what's a gas fees? Those gas fees are just the fees of like putting your codes on blockchain. Because say, for example, say we take the example when you're doing web development, you actually need a server, right, to host your codes and everything, right? And that server, you actually pay for it, whatever monthly or yearly basis, whatever the amount is, you actually pay for it, right? Or you can set up your own at home. But anyway, there's a cost associated to it. And on blockchain, it's hosted there on chain on different nodes, right? And how does a node makes money? It's when they're actually doing that computational, getting that computational value I was talking about earlier. So they make money on that one, right? So they also need like funds to be able to pay for those nodes and so on. All right. That being said, we actually need how basically I'm going to talk about something. So this series of codes that we actually we will be executing in a few minutes on chain actually needs to have like my wallet address, right? How does that happen is that I've created a wallet in MetaMask already, right? So I need to tell the when doing the deployment, I need to tell it, okay, that's my wallet address, but I don't put my address directly there. I put my private key, right? I've created one which just for the sake of this recording we can use. Let me just look for that one. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so this is a config. I'm just going to copy and paste this one in here. And like it would say, this is my private key, which is a constant. And to have that constant, I'm just going to create the .env file. Like, okay, developing all, like those already, developing already knows that's the environment variable are being stored in here. And yeah, basically that's it. You can, unfortunately, this is a test one. I use it for testing. So having my private key, like one thing is that which you need to bear in mind, never ever share your private key, right? Somebody can swipe all your, like can take all your funds and transfer it having your private key. And this is really important. So never share your private key. You need to share, in fact, share your public address, which is your wallet address, right? Okay. There are other ways to sort of apply security around it. I'm just like, again, for the sake of this demo, to put it as simple as possible. So I'm just putting it on this env file and so, right, without it being encrypted and all. And that's it. So like I was saying, there are two types. I'm using Polygon chain, and you have the live environment and the test environment. Basically, we call it the testnet. So this is the URL for the testnet. I'm not going to go into the details of how the deployment and everything goes, and we can do that later on or some other time. We can also read about it. It's quite simple, basically. Okay, so that is done. We've already got our config and so on. Right. So that is done now. And okay. One thing, Polygon testnet. We are going to deploy on testnet anyway. So to deploy now our token, let me clear the console. So we need to compile first the smart contract. Hopefully it compiles without any issue. So that's compiling our contract and everything. Okay. So identify, no, not fun. No. Okay, let us see. I think there's sort of an issue here. Contract tech news. Okay. Let me check. Tech news should be fine. Let me check.
We are using M token just below line 10.
I'm looking for that one. Where is it?
Line 10.
Basically that's the thing.
Live debugging.
Okay, so we've got that one. Oh, it should be fine. Sorry. That is one is fine. So it should have been.
You have await M token deploy, yes.
It should be fine. This one is fine. The M token hits the target. Okay, cool. Just try again. Hopefully now it compiles. Okay, again, same thing. In fact, that's not the issue. The issue is with identifier not found or unique contract tech news. Let me check. I think I was already playing around with that folder, so that's why. Wait, I think there are other contracts in that one which is not being put in here. Tech news. Okay, so basically earlier we had an issue with we do not have linked anyway. That's fine. So I've not written the variable type correctly, right? So I'm going to try again the compile. Okay, unfortunately it's already compiled. So let's add another function in here, just so the sake. Let's add a burn functionality, which I already have in some of the contract. I'm just going to paste it here so that you're able to see the compilation of the codes, right? Okay. That's a burn functionality that we add. What's a burn functionality is just that, you can sort of, so you have, like, say you had 1000 token already on chain. You wanted to remove 10 out of circulation, right? So it's called burning the token. So you could actually burn, or there's a concept called crawlback. Basically burn and crawlback are quite different. So burn, it's like you're destroying the token. So say if you had 1000, you're burning 10, you would have only 990 there available on circulation. And crawlback, it's just that, say you've transferred the token to somebody, and that guy using the token for some reason which is not really ethical, right? Whatever. So you want to get that token from him without actually burning it. So that's crawlback. You can crawl back from, you can take that token from his wallet directly into that one. That's not a very secure functionality. Again, just for the sake of this demo, I'm just talking about that one. So you can't actually take a token directly from someone, even if you have created a smart contract. It's not really your contract. People won't use it because they know there's at any time the owner of that, the creator of the contract, can just take back the token from him. So the trust is very important here. So that's something which was worth talking about. Okay, so we are going to do the we're going to try compiling again. So compile. Hopefully this time it compiles. Okay, so everything is compiled now. The last thing that we are going to do is to deploy on blockchain. Okay, I'm going to show you something on my screen. Wait. Okay. Right. I was talking about having a wallet. I've created a wallet on MetaMask. This is MetaMask wallet. It's just, I'm using it as an extension to Chrome. You can have it as a mobile app, or if you want, right? So you can install it on Chrome directly. You can have it on Chrome Store. Okay. I've created a wallet called Tech News already, and I've got a few Matic already in there, which is sort of the currency for blockchain, right? Okay, you can put it if we do an analogy, each country has its own currency, right? So each blockchain out there has its own currency. Polygon's currency, it's Matic, right? And you can have Bitcoin blockchain, it's BTC. Ethereum blockchain, it's what people call, okay, I call it Ether. Some people might call it ETH or whatever, right? I basically have the habit of calling it Ether. Anyway, so that's okay. This one, it's on a testnet environment, right? I've already set up everything, and all this one I've not really bought it, right? And you add scissor currency in here, I've not really bought it. There's something called a faucet, right? A faucet is just that you can go on that faucet, right? And you ask, like, you say you're testing, and you want some Matic just to be able to test, So the faucet I use is this one. It's faucet.polygon technology. Anyway, this is just Cloudflare. Moving on. All right, so you just give your wallet address in here. You need to connect Discord, right? Before actually getting that token. Okay, let's do one quickly. So I've already got. Okay, I don't really know. This is already Discord already set up. Won't go into the details of what Discord is anyway. So it's just like, you have Google, which uses like when you go to a website, you're authenticating yourself with Google. That's the same thing with Discord that we just done. Right. Anyway, so now I'm going to just give my wallet address to this thing in here. My wallet address is basically this one you will see in here. I can copy it to clipboard, and this is public. You can give it to anybody who wants to send you funds. Okay, and I do submit. Okay, confirm and everything. So they're going to transfer me. My request has been submitted. In a few seconds or minutes, sometimes I'm going to get like tokens in here. That's test only. It doesn't have any value, even if it says 0.516 USD. It's not really an actual value. It's just this. Anyways, this should be increasing, and what I'm doing is that because we need much more Matic to be able to deploy. Just a few seconds. In fact, it's already being sent to my, I think, to my wallet, but this thing takes. So, okay, you've seen it. I don't really know if you've seen there was a glitch.
Yeah, it appeared.
Increased. So I've got enough Matic now to be able to deploy. Basically, okay, it's really little, right? You can continue clicking on this thing and getting a lot more Matics. But anyway, at some point in time, they're going to kick you out. I have a Cloudflare or the faucet itself is going to know that you're abusing, right? And you also notice this one. My wallet has been created for 5 minutes. I can't just go in there and click submit as many times as I want. Anyway, that is being done. Now, last thing, remember how our codes was connecting to my wallet, because eventually it needs to detect the funds from my wallet. Remember, I'll talk about the private key, the private key. So that's the thing. So it's going to use my private key and extract my wallet address from there. And since I've already given it my private key, it can actually interact by interacting, I mean, take funds from my wallet to be able to deploy on chain, right? So that's the thing. Okay, now the last command for today is going to be this one. So we're going to deploy, and earlier, if you remember, we had in the deploy.js file, we had sorry for that one. We had actually forgot what I was saying. Okay, anyway, we had two types of environment, development and live. This is a live environment, right? And this is my development environment on the chain, right? And you will notice that the URL also is different, right? Testnet is this one. RPC Mumbai. Anyway, Mumbai because Polygon has been developed in India, right? And just for sake of knowing, you might know that Ethereum actually, the founder, the guy who actually developed the blockchain, Vitalik, in fact, he sent a lot of points to the founders of Polygon during COVID, and they used it actually for philanthropic purposes, right? It's actually bought a lot of oxygen cylinders for the country, and a lot, but I mean, it was in millions of USD, right? Anyway, let's continue and do our deployment. So, okay. While this is being done, this is being done. Actually, what is happening now currently, this is being executed, this function in here, and hopefully upon successful execution, we are going to have our contract address, which we will be able to see on chain, right? Even if it doesn't, okay, so now it's using my account and everything, you will notice. And, okay, I've got, that's being successful. We're already on chain. So, okay. See this console here, you can, it's basically console.log from JavaScript, basically, which you have the same, not from JavaScript, but the same, as in when you use it in JavaScript. Anyway, this is my log, and I was just putting in here, this is my token address, my contract address anyway. So everything is done now. We just need to check that it's, on chain. Okay, let's check. So it's going to be on Polygon testnet environment. So I don't really know the URL directly, right? Just going to Google it. Polygon scan Mumbai testnet. Okay, so it's mumbai.polygonscan.com. Anyway, remember we got our contract address earlier in that log. So that's our token address. So we're just going to take that one. and just putting it in here, and you're going to search for it. We've got that one. And okay, so 48 seconds ago, this has been deployed and everything. Remember, take news with our ticker, TNW, that is in here. So anybody, like, you can just take that URL, right, and go anywhere and check it on your side also. It's a bit difficult. I don't know if Abdallah is going to just put it as a comment for you just to click on it later on when this video is live. But anyway, I'm just copying it and save it in. I'm going to save it. Okay, that's our contract address and everything. And okay, so this is my creator address, which is my address, my wallet address, basically. Even though it is OX88, that should be the same thing as my wallet address, right? So OX88, that's exactly my wallet address. It's public, right? So you will obviously know who has deployed any type of contract. And this is like a transaction hash, transaction ID, basically, right? And that's basically it. You can just check the other things if you want, okay, the contracts and everything. This is my compile code that I actually wrote earlier, and it's here. It's this thing, in fact, right? And it's in bytecode, basically. And so now, remember, we had like 1,000, right? 1,000 token. So the token supply 1,000 TNW. Remember our ticket, our ticker, sorry, no, I'm saying ticket. So our ticker. So it's 1,000. The holder is 31. It's on my address now, wallet address. Okay, if we would have another address, we could have transferred it. Now, one thing is that I need to say it in my wallet, right? It's actually on my wallet address, but it's not here. I just need to import it. So I just need to put that contract address. Wait, I copied that earlier. Right, the symbol was TNW. Okay, it's already got it from here directly without me inputting. Remember, not anybody can do that. I'm able to do. I'm able to import it in my wallet since it's already in my wallet. It's not appearing here, right? Yeah, this one is already pre-populated. You can import here in my wallet. So I have 1,000 TNW. I can transfer this thing to anyone. I can send it, right? Sorry. Tech news. Say I want to transfer TNW. I want to transfer 10 TNW to, obviously, this thing again gas fees. That's how, the miners makes money. Anyway, put next. Right. I need to put actually the wallet address of the destination, of the receiver. Anyway, we'll probably have one for the time being, but anyway, I'm transferring from tech news to tech news. So yeah, that's it, basically. That's basically it. And that's all for today. And yeah, I'll stop sharing.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Simon. Thanks for making blockchain easy in a sense, and thanks for the live demo. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Cool.
Thank you.